she might say something that she hadn't planned. There's a long history of that. Happened with a Lester Holt NBC interview relatively early in her vice presidency. There's also a history of this. Back in 2016, the then Democratic nominee Hillary Clinton was going around bashing Donald Trump. She seemed to be having so much fun gallivanting around the country, hitting Trump for this and that. Some legitimate criticism, you might say. But she ended up losing. So whatever joy, quote unquote, that Kamala Harris is showing on the campaign trail may be short-lived.
Welcome to The Debrief, where we talk with the Washington Examiner's top journalists about the headlines they're covering and where the story's going next. I'm Sarah Bedford, and I'm here with magazine editor David Mark. And David, Kamala Harris, her polling seems to be stronger in the swing states, stronger nationally than Joe Biden. She's even pulling ahead into something of a lead. There's a lot of enthusiasm about that. Is it warranted?
Well, the polls are definitely moving in the direction of Kamala Harris, the vice president and Democratic nominee in waiting. Polls are close, though, and it's clear either she or Donald Trump, the former president, Republican nominee, could win this election. It seems like the Democrats are getting awfully excited about this. 82 days, something like that, depending when this,
right.
I think as we're filming, somewhere around there. So under 3 months before Election Day. So Democrats have to be careful that there's not irrational exuberance and they get too excited and start taking it for granted. This thing could still go either way.
Could this be a high watermark for Kamala Harris? Because so far she's had no exposure to scrutiny whatsoever. And we know that she's not very strong when she speaks extemporaneously, and she hasn't been asked to do that yet, but she will at some point, right?
Yeah, that's absolutely right. She has not done any interviews, I don't think, since she...
No, not one.
Yeah, became the nominee unofficially. I think she did one airport tarmac question and answer for like 70 seconds or something like that, but no serious journalistic interviews. It seems like the Democrats, her campaign, are trying to keep that going at least through early September or so. We'll see if that's doable. Eventually, she's going to have to give an interview. That just the pressure is going to be so great on her. And then, yeah, she might say something that she hadn't planned. There's a long history of that. Happened with a Lester Holt NBC interview relatively early in her vice presidency. There's also a history of this. Back in 2016, the then Democratic nominee Hillary Clinton was going around bashing Donald Trump. She seemed to be having so much fun gallivanting around the country, hitting Trump for this and that. Some legitimate criticism, you might say. But she ended up losing. So whatever joy, quote unquote, that Kamala Harris is showing on the campaign trail may be short-lived.
You make a good point that there are parallels here between Hillary Clinton and Kamala Harris in the way that they're running their campaigns and the way that Democrats are sort of responding to it. Do you think that Trump should be running a similar playbook? And like, what are we seeing from the Trump campaign right now?
Well, that's a great question. And Trump's whole persona, if you want to call it, that is to be the tough guy. And that really worked for him in 2016. It almost worked for him in 2020. Didn't quite get there. He is who he is. He's 78 years old himself. He's not going to change. Can be kind of grumpy at times, but a lot of people really like that. His running mate, J.D. Vance, in some ways seems to double down on that. It's not exactly a light and sunshine type campaign, but who knows? Maybe there could be enough votes for that. Again, in each of these swing states, Pennsylvania, Wisconsin, Michigan, Georgia, Arizona, North Carolina, down the line, it could go either way.
Well, David, thank you so much for being here today.
Thank you.
You can get more writing from David and the rest of the political team at washingtonexaminer.com.